Hey everybody, I wanted to show you a couple of follow-up items on the George Thomas Universal Pillar Tool. I just finished using the boring head. I cut a specially ground. I took an ordinary boring head. I cut off the back side of this, and then I ground down so it's basically a 45-degree angle. And I've used it to round the outside of the various pieces of the pillar tool. This is the drill head. I'm not going to bother with that. I do have to mill the back of the drill head flat for the mounting screws for the motor or the pulleys, but I just wanted to show this. From here I'll probably use a Dremel. After I cut the tabs off, I'll smooth things down. I'll use a Dremel to remove any of the big bumps, and I'll use a file to kind of blend this in, give it a nice round look for these various surfaces. Let me take you over. I wanted to show the setup here in case, my whole idea of making the series is making it so that people can replicate, take some of the mystery out of making these devices. So let me walk you over here real quick. Here's the book. Sorry about the moving camera again. There's another thing I wanted to show, a little trick. When I shot part 11, I guess it was, that when I first put this sleeve on here, it didn't want to go down. So long story short, what I realized is this hole was just a few thousandths of an inch closer to the bore than it needed to be, and so it was hanging up on the bore, and so it didn't slide on smoothly like that one did. So what I examined it and figured out what the problem was, and it's right here. This 1/4 20 bolt that I had, as I said, that it was too far in, so that when it got bored, there was a little notch taken out of it from the boring bar. But when I pulled it back in, after I cut off the brass to give it some clearance, there was a part of the threads exposed, long story short. So what I did to remedy that situation was I took a piece, that's why you see this Loctite out here, I took a piece of brass, instead of making a whole new one of these, let me get this out, try to knock it out this way. I wanted to show you, see if I can get a close-up on it. Okay, you can see the little brass insert in there. So instead of making a whole new clamping pad, I found a piece of 1/4 inch brass bar, 1/4 inch 20 threaded, and I actually think this is from an old float valve from a toilet, and I cleaned it off, and I cleaned it with the nail polish remover, and I've treated it with some Loctite primer, and I used the green Loctite sleeve retaining compound, and I put that all in here. I let it sit a couple days, and I put this in the lathe and drilled and tapped it in for a 1024 thread. So that's what I've got in here now. It's slightly smaller, obviously. It's 188 thousandths OD versus 250, but it'll provide just as much clamping power as I need. So that was a little remedy. Unusual. I wasn't expecting to have, of all the potential problems that you could have with machining one of these things, that was not one of the things I was expecting. Whoops, there goes the little nut. So anyway, you can see this one, I already rounded the edges on this piece with the boring head on the outside with that specially modified cutter. I have yet to file and blend the edges on here, but that'll be next. And you can see this one over here, I did the same thing. I've machined it down, give it a little bit of a flow, a little rounding. You'll be putting, depending on which one is on top, you'll be putting different devices and stuff in here, so it's nice to have that edge broken a little bit. The bottom is not so critical. I'll probably just break the sharp edge with the file. The whole thing will get ground and sanded and before I primer and paint it. But these are as I noted in one of the comments, Rustinox made a comment about how nice everything looked, and I had to agree with him. I mean, these castings are just beautiful. They're from the U.S. supplier Martin Models and Pattern Company, and they're just absolutely beautiful castings. So I couldn't be happier with how they came out, and it's fun just now. I'm just doing the detail and cleanup work, and getting ready to prime and paint these things. The next big evolution for these will be making the ball handles. So that I'll probably do a few videos about the ball handles, and hope that that's helpful to you. So once again, folks, thanks for watching. I hope this is an enjoyable series for you. It's been fun for me to make this project, and as always, let me know if you have any questions or comments. I'll be happy to do my best to try to answer them for you. If you don't mind, please like and subscribe, tell your friends. Hopefully this kind of channel, this low-key approach, just a craftsman out here in his workshop making stuff, I hope that's appealing to people. And like I said, I want to be a resource for you. So thanks again. Have a good evening.